Hey, Mark Rodriguez here. We're going to keep it going to King of Fighters Destiny. We're very close to the end right now. So, the last episode was a flashback episode. It was kind of sort of like a very condensed version of the Art of Fighting story, mostly from King's perspective. So in this version, I guess Mr. Big sent King to kidnap Yuri and hopefully kill Ryo whenever Ryo would come rescue her. And the reason King is doing this in this case is because her brother, John, is deathly ill and she really needs the money. And, you know, for this life-saving surgery and all that. But during the fight, she has a lot of conflict because, again, she's doing all this to save her brother, but at the same time, she's kidnapping someone's sister and trying to kill her brother, you know what I mean? So, she loses the fight, Ryo spares her life, but after she meets with Yuri, King decides to live a better life, like a more honest life and stuff like that. So, as for the present, we're still where we left off in the last episode, where you remember, Yuri and King are now evil with the dark crystals and stuff, and they're going up against the Bogarts, and it ended with King about to attack Terry Bogard, so we're going to see what happens there, while at the same time, Team China is still fighting against Team Korea, and Kensu and Chin are knocked out, and Athena's, like, I guess she's powering up her shining crystal bit, but she's still in that pose, that defensive pose, while Team Korea, Kim Kapwan, Chang and Choi are slowly approaching her, so let's see what happens now. Let's check it out. Alright guys, so it's like a big time lapse here between the last video and now. You can see, you know, all new surroundings. Well, this is real new. We just got this like a couple of days ago. That one should look familiar. But yeah, a lot of new things here and there. And what can I say? That footage I showed you a moment ago, I believe that's the last recorded footage I have of the old apartment before I moved down here. So that's it. That was like the last scene ever filmed in that old apartment. And I think you still see the FNAF figure, the security breach figure. I just couldn't take it with me. It was just too big. But it was there in the background and stuff like that. And yeah, so that's like the last of it. You only see the apartment again in, like, I guess montages or flashbacks, old photos, whatever. But yeah. So anyways, the episode starts off right off the bat with Athena still charging up her shiny crystal bit as Kim, Chang, and Choi attack her, but they can't get past that big energy dome she has. So they're kind of like sent flying back. So Athena charges up her shiny crystal bit and just throws it at them, blows them up, and that basically ends the fight. And there we go. So elsewhere, we see the big statue with all the snake heads and the big dark crystal, which is basically what's emanating the energy throughout the whole building for all these people to be possessed and whatever. And Ryo and Robert are guarding it, and they're possessed as well. So that's not good news. And meanwhile, Mature is watching the screens, you know, all the monitors and stuff. She sees that Ralph and Clark are kind of snooping around, so she sends a couple of men after them. And meanwhile, Rugal's just sitting there, just, you know, looking evil and menacing and stuff like that while this is going on. So then we go to Terry fighting against King, and yeah, it's pretty intense. King is extremely fast and everything. She's whooping Terry's ass. Terry's trying to do the slam dunk and the rising tackle, and King is blocking it all and everything. And then he bumps into Joe, that Joe is being knocked around by Yuri, and Yuri's throwing Oshokokens at them and everything. So it's a pretty intense fight between Terry and King, and then Joe and Yuri. So while they're fighting, we also see that Kyo, Benimaru, and Goro are all crawling through the vents and everything when Kyo hears Athena's voice, and Athena tells them that, you know, like the source of the energy, the dark power and stuff, and she knows where it is, and she's trying to guide him to, you know, guide him to find where that area is to take care of it and stuff, but also warning them, of course, that watch out for the other fighters in the tournament because all of them are possessed by the dark crystal and everything. So they head on their way. So we see more action between Terry and Joe and everything, and they're in bad shape. Terry does a power wave, and Joe does a hurricane upper and everything. The girls block it. And at first I thought it was like maybe a distraction, you know, because a lot of dust came up with the hurricane. But that was a distraction so that Terry and Joe can get away. But no, they're too worn out to run. I think that was just like a last thing to see if we could take them out. But in true Dragon Ball fashion, King and Yuri are just walking through the smoke like nothing happened, and they take them down. So Terry and Joe have been defeated by King and Yuri while they're looking evil. And elsewhere, Andy is still fighting against Mai, and he manages to grab her from behind and hold her and stuff. And Mai's like screaming, all evil and possessed or whatever, almost like Orochi Leona, even though she's not been introduced yet, you know, but almost like that. While Andy's like, "Step out of it, Mai, step out of it," you know, that kind of thing. So while Mai is screaming, we still see Kyo, Benimaru and Goro crawling through the vents. They have to get out of the vents. And it's kind of weird because during the first part of the scene, you only see like Kyo and Benimaru, and they're the only ones talking. So when they get out of the vents, it's like they you know, come out, and then Goro comes out too. They're like, oh, okay, Goro was there too. I had no idea. That was kind of weird. But anyways, they're in the room now, and there's like this fan, you know, one of those giant spinning fans or whatever. And on the other side, they can see the giant statue and stuff. But they can also see Ryo and Robert, and they're looking all evil. And Benimaru, which is of course always kind of pretending like an idiot in this series, like they already know about the people being possessed, and Benimaru has already fought versus people that have been possessed and stuff. And he's all like I don't know, maybe you're just angry. Like, do you think we owe money? Oh, I know. You were probably hating on that Yuri chick. Ooh, I'm gonna tell Yuki about that. You know, just acting dumb. So Robert does a whole Shokoken through the like I guess the giant fan, and not only do you have to avoid a giant fireball, you also have to avoid like the fan blades that are now flying at you at fucking terminal velocity. Which, lucky for Benimaru, Kyo managed to kick them out of the way and stuff. So they start fighting, and Benimaru, I guess, still has some personal beef with Robert. He's like, oh, you know, that Robert. So every time Kyo tries to fight him, Benimaru keeps getting in his way, and he insists on fighting with Robert. So it's like, you know, fine. So Kyo will fight versus Ryo, while Goro takes care of the statue to just flat out destroy it and stuff. So yeah, during the fight, it's pretty cool. But one thing that does stand out to me that's like, holy shit, is that Benimaru did the Riot Koken at him, and Robert caught that fucker. That giant electric ball that Benimaru does as one of his supers, he caught that shit, and like basically caught like the electrical energy while Benimaru's still trying to do it, and he like claps his hands around Benimaru's fist and just make it like, I guess, go backwards into him. So Benimaru was like getting zapped by his own technique in a certain way. Like, holy crap. And that's like a technique that you would never see in the game, because how would it work in the game? It has to be only like in some kind of live action movie, a cartoon, something, some other form of media. But that's one hell of a reversal, you know? So Goro does like a power slam, which is kind of weird. I mean, I guess it did kind of shake up the statue, but it wasn't until Kyo did his burning uppercut thing that actually broke it further, and all the snake heads started falling apart and stuff like that. And I'm just kind of like, okay, I know like in the game he doesn't, like he slams the ground, Goro that is, but I'm not sure why Goro didn't just flat out slam against the statue directly and just break it that way, you know what I mean? But, you know. So anyways, once the statue falls apart and everything, all the room, you know, all the rooms had like the weird like infrared laser thing, and the walls were kind of changing all over the place like Tetris or something. All that stuff gets turned off. All the regular lights turn back on and stuff. King and Yuri in particular turn back to normal, but they're all worn out, so they just collapse and everything. And I'm assuming that elsewhere, Kim, Chang, Choi, whoever else, I'm sure that they're also gonna like, you know, wake up and step out of it too. So the episode kind of ends with Terry and Joe watching over King and Yuri, and now they're both unconscious and everything and stuff like that. And the next episode is going to be a big one. The next episode looks like, for the previews, that all the heroes are getting together. But the biggest thing is that, holy shit, Rugal is finally going to fight. We're near the end. Rugal wants to fight. He mentions something about wanting to get the Orochi power directly into his bloodstream. It's super epic. And one thing that stands out is that Kyo and Terry are going to be fighting against Rugal, and it's fucking awesome. The only thing I want to say about that, though, is I really wish Ryo was there. And I know that in this storyline, Ryo was kind of like, he was just kind of there, because the series kind of follows, of course, Kyo, the Orochi stuff, you know, all the King of Fighters 94 storyline. But at the same time, it also follows the Fatal Fury storyline with Terry, Andy, and Joe, and the stuff with Southtown, and Revenge Against Geese, and the stuff with the Lily girl that's not Lily. Wasn't her name Angelina? Yeah, it was Angelina. And that took the place of Lily. But the same kind of, you know, storyline. So it makes sense that Terry Bogard will also be there, because Kyo and Terry are like the major characters in the series. But it just sucks that Ryo didn't have much to do and everything. I guess the flashback would have been something. So we did see a flashback in the last episode that Ryo went to save Yuri from King, but still not like, you know, he's still like not that much of a major character here. And that kind of sucks. It would have been so cool. The main character of King of Fighters, the main character of Fatal Fury, and the main character of Art of Fighting teaming up to fight against Rugal. That would have been awesome, because you have to remember that when King of Fighters 94 first came out, Kyo was the unknown. You know, now he's popular after 15 games, but at that point, He was the unknown, and the biggest thing about King of Fighters 94 was a big crossover between Fatal Fury and Art of Fighting. You know what I mean? It's kind of a shame that Art of Fighting just kind of fell off the wayside. I know they're going to make a new game, but Fatal Fury keeps going. There's more characters, and of course you got the big City of the Wolves coming soon. And even though Art of Fighting is apparently they're going to make some kind of new game, apparently, you know, obviously that's not happening now. So we got no big news or nothing. Art of Fighting is still on the wayside until we hear any big announcements. But Fatal Fury, and especially Terry Bogard being in all these other games like Street Fighter 6 and fucking Smash Bros. Or whatever, I mean, yeah, they're way more in the public eye. So anyways, guys, Mark Rodriguez here. Let you know what happens for the next episode. Episode 22 is the big one because we're going to fight against Regal. We're getting close to the end. It looks like there's no more of these little flashback episodes and stuff like that. It's just full steam ahead until we get to the end, and we'll see what happens there. So anyways, guys, Mark Rodriguez signing off here. It was a fun episode, and we'll see what happens next. See you next time.